All right, so we have two other guests tonight. Timothy Baran. Yes, not coincidental. He is related. There's Timothy. Timothy Baran is also a practicing writer and is a chef. Very, very talented chef. And so you'll notice a theme here when he reads his poem, Eat Before It Gets Cold. Tim.
So, growing up, there used to be these readers that we would read. And they started out from the very babiest readers to like college level material. And I haven't made it to one of these in a long time because I think all I do is work. And so I took a little time and I stepped back and I thought, you know, I need to take a break and come back to here. And I'm sitting here listening to everything tonight, and it reminds me of the readers. They were full of different, eclectic, interesting writings, and they were never the same. And that's kind of where this piece came from. I don't know if you've met my mom. She has a way with words that I will never have. The only thing I do worse than writing is singing. I say, like, stop by while I'm in the shower, but that's kind of creepy too. And I believe when you're talking to people, you should be very direct. But when you're reading a story, or telling a story, or listening to a story, that story should have another meaning. Words should have a play almost. So this is called Eat Before It Gets Cold. I've never read this one out loud, and I was actually tweaking it all the way until I came over here today. So you might notice a double meaning here. I set about my work, the wind howling against the house. I did my best to keep the rest of my guests so warm at heart. The fire crackled merrily and the walls had a cheery glow. I looked out past the frosted panes and felt triumph against the snow. The frigid cold and ice were trapped out in the deadly dark, but we were safe and out of harm inside my darling house. The clock struck 6 o'clock and it woke me from my thoughts. I hurried to the kitchen to check the rattling pots. The goose was in the oven, crispy brown and smelling sweet. I smiled at the thought of serving my guests this lovely treat. On the stove the pot shone rosy gold and steam puffed in the air. It waffled through the house and I heard heavy steps banging down the stairs. I heard the sounds of laughter, the kind that comes deep inside the throat. My guests were happy, chortling rambunctious as they stood around lighting pipes to smoke. I felt no fear at all. We were safe from the storm. I'd done my best to keep the rest of my guests safe and warm. The table finally set with food, it groaned under the weight of full drinking glasses and overladen plates. And so it went on until the clock finally struck 12 times. I realized in an instant that these were deadly chimes. As I looked around the table, my heart was filled with dread. We hadn't even noticed we had too much fun instead. There was a chill in the air and I could see my breath. We had let the fire die out and invited in Mr. Death. He sat at the head of the table, dressed in the blackest black. He said to us, "Good evening, lads, who with me will come back? You've all been so distracted and talking loudly into the night. I was walking down the hill and my, what a sight. The warmest little cutest house nestled in the snow. I was so very curious, for on a night like this most living things lay low. I think it's because they know I'm out there, moving a rap out so very near. But you flaunted your might, shone bright into the night, and your laughter caught my ear. And now the fire is out, and the ice is creeping in. Can you feel the shiver on your spine? You can, then let's begin. These are your final moments, the last time you'll feel warm. They'll find you in the morning, and I promise you they will mourn. They'll tell great stories about you and how you braved the cold night. They'll tell tales of your days and romanticize your life. But all of that is futile. See, your eyes are as dead as me. It's been that way since I asked you to come away with me. You're frozen to your chairs and your skin is turning blue. You're so cold to the touch. What a view. I'd take my hat off to you if I wore one on my head. But would that make a difference now that all of you are dead? He said, your best was very good as he reached for an empty plate, but I'm feeling rather hungry, so now you'll have to wait.
caddies, and he cooks.
And he sings
And he's-
very well.
Apparently, yeah, okay.